My husband bankrolled my sister's tuition for 5 years. I finally found out what she was actually majoring in. My husband Mark and I have been together for 12 years, married for 10. We were that power couple everyone envied. I'm a baker. I started a small shop from my garage that turned into a local staple. Mark is a high stakes defense attorney. When we met, he was a mess after losing his parents, and I was the one who kept his head above water. I thought we had that ride or die bond. I guess I was the only one riding. 5 years ago, my baby sister Lisa, now 23, supposedly got into this elite art academy in a city 3 hours away. My parents couldn't afford it, and I was ready to take out a second mortgage to help her. But Mark stepped in like a freaking saint. He told me, "Babe, your bakery is finally taking off. Don't stress the finances. I'll handle Lisa. It'll be my investment in her future." I literally cried in his arms, thinking I'd married a hero. For 5 years, Lisa was too swamped to come home. She'd send us these grainy photos of her projects, mostly abstract stuff that looked like a toddler threw paint at a canvas. Mark was wiring her huge stacks of cash every month, not just tuition, but supplies, studio fees, and study abroad trips to Italy and France that I was never invited to because she needed to focus. Lately, Mark became a total nightmare about our household budget. He started breathing down my neck over every single grocery receipt. He actually blew up at me for buying a new industrial mixer for the bakery, calling me financially irresponsible and saying we needed to tighten our belts. Meanwhile, he was still cutting five-figure checks for Lisa without blinking. I started feeling like a guest in my own life, constantly walking on eggshells. 3 days ago was Lisa's 23rd birthday. I decided, screw it, I'm going to be a good big sister. I woke up at 4 a.m., baked her favorite 3-tier blueberry lemon cake, and drove 3 hours to surprise her. I pulled up to the address Mark had on file, expecting a cramped dorm or a dusty studio. Instead, it was a straight-up luxury high-rise with floor-to-ceiling windows and a freaking valet. The concierge stopped me at the door. I told him I was Lisa's sister. He looked at my flour-stained hoodie and the cake box like I was a lost delivery driver. He checked the system and said, "Oh, you must be the sister-in-law. Mr. Mark requested that his wife not be disturbed today, since it's her birthday celebration." My heart didn't just drop, it stopped. His wife? I managed to choke out. The guy got flustered and let it slip. "Yes, Mrs. Lisa. They've been residents here for 3 years. They're upstairs right now." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I went into autopilot mode. Mark had made me a spare key to Lisa's place years ago in case of emergencies, and I still had it on my ring. I walked into that penthouse, and it looked like a Pinterest board for a millionaire's mistress. In the middle of the living room, there were 3 easels. But there was no art. They were covered in blown-up spreadsheets and bank statements. Lisa and Mark were sitting on a white leather sofa, sipping champagne. They weren't even making out. They were literally looking at a laptop, pointing at a chart of My Bakery's revenue. Mark was explaining to her how he was going to depreciate the business assets during our upcoming divorce, so I'd be left with nothing but the debt, while their offshore stash in Europe would be untouchable. I just stood there with the cake. When Mark saw me, he didn't even look guilty. He just looked annoyed, like I'd interrupted a business meeting. Lisa had the audacity to ask if the cake was gluten-free. I left the cake on their designer rug and walked out without saying a single word. Update number 1. Reading your comments and losing my mind. First off, thank you all for the support. To the person who said I should have thrown the cake at them, trust me, the urge was real, but I didn't want to give Mark any assault evidence for the divorce. Reading through your comments, a lot of you mentioned dissipation of marital assets and legal fraud. I showed this thread to a shark of a lawyer I know, Mark's biggest rival actually, and he started salivating. We did a deep dive into the tuition payments. Turns out there was no art academy. Lisa spent 5 years living like a queen on my dime. But here's the kicker. Mark wasn't just giving her money. He was using her as a human piggy bank. He'd gift her money, she'd move it to a shell company, and then it would vanish into an account in the Cayman Islands. They weren't even a couple. They were business partners in a scam to rob me blind. My own sister sold me out for a 15% cut of the exit fee. Mark sent me a peace treaty via text. Don't be dramatic. I'll give you the bakery and the house if you sign an NDA and don't go to the bar association. My lawyer laughed so hard he spilled his coffee. We're not signing anything. We're going for the jugular. Update number 2. The confrontation and the fallout. A lot of you asked how my parents took the news. It's been brutal. My mom actually went to Lisa's penthouse to confront her. Lisa tried to gaslight her, saying I forced Mark to treat her like a wife because I was too busy with bread to be a real partner. Shout. My mom slapped her so hard, Lisa's fake lashes flew off. Lisa is officially dead to the family. Mark is trying to play the I was just protecting our future card, claiming the offshore money was for us to retire early. Yeah, right. If it was for us, why was my name nowhere on the paperwork? Why was I being yelled at for buying a $500 mixer while he was dropping $10K a month on Lisa's art supplies? The police are now involved because Mark used my forged signature to take out a $150 business loan against my bakery. This isn't just a divorce anymore. It's a criminal case. Mark's firm put him on administrative leave, which is corporate speak for you're toast. Update number 3. The final update. The smell of freedom. It's been 6 months since my world exploded. Mark's law license has been permanently revoked. He's facing potential jail time for the forged loan documents. He's currently living in a studio apartment, a real one this time, and hawking his Rolex collection to pay his own legal fees. Lisa? She's a straight-up pariah. Without Mark's cash, she couldn't afford the high rise. She tried to sue Mark for unpaid services, but since there was no contract for her scamming duties, the judge basically laughed her out of court. Last I heard, she's working at a mall kiosk and living with a friend. As for me, the judge was a total badass. Since Mark dissipated so much of our wealth, I was awarded 90% of our remaining domestic assets, including the house and his retirement fund. I used some of that Mark-free money to completely renovate the bakery. I bought the top-of-the-line Italian ovens I've wanted for a decade. Business is killing it. Everyone in town knows the story, and they come in just to buy the divorce cake. It's blueberry lemon, obviously. I'm officially single, Mark is officially broke, and Lisa is officially gone. Every morning when I walk into my shop and smell that fresh bread, I realize it's the best damn smell in the world. It smells like straight-up freedom.